That's my kind of intro. EG versus Aster, game one of this best of 3 Suns fan here with the robot himself, the Cinder, the man, the legend.
0-1.
That's binary?
Yes.
That's the best you can do? We've got a lot more coding to do for you, young man. We have a new hero, and his name is Enigma.
That is right. We have not
school.
seen this game, this hero, this tournament, I dare say, including Group Stage 1. I don't know if it's been played at all. At least not in Stage 2. We have not had... We personally haven't cast it. I don't know if it's been in a game that we missed, but definitely not a very popular hero right now. Oracle, kind of in the same boat. Not a very popular hero, but EGC reason for it here. It is a really good Oracle game, to be fair, though. You can remove Ion Shells, you can remove Frost Shield, you can remove Resonant Pulse. There's a lot of upsides to it, but as the panel pointed out, the pairing with Medusa is pretty unusual. Yeah, the ulti just doesn't really do that much for her. So, will be interesting to see how that all plays out.
It does a lot for Legion.
It does, absolutely.
The attack. Jingu on the support, Monkey King.
And for Enigma, you guarantee the black hole. Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
So, what Aster don't have in this game, they have no BKB piercing ability. So, Enigma's black hole with BKB is very reliable. I don't know if we're going to see Whisper going that route or if he's going to go auras, but either way, yeah, this is one where I feel like Aster definitely can't really have prepared for this. It's just too off-brand from EG what they're showing here. So gonna need to make some good in the heat of the moment adjustments and understand what's going on.
Yeah, and we should mention Aster needs to start winning some games.
Yep.
I believe that they are winless in the second groups. EG.
And you need top 4 or nothing matters.
That's right. EG, where are they? I mean, they lost one series.
Actually, there might be a difference between 5th and 8th in terms of prizes. I actually don't know that in this second stage.
Let's just assume that that is the case, because that's how it should be, of course. Well, maybe not, and that's more tiebreakers, right? Because then the placements actually matter a lot for the lower end. Either way, we're going to see C-Smile.
I'm actually going to look it up.
Yeah, of course you are.
I want to know this now. Now I've opened this bag of worms, I will close it.
C-Smile versus Sumail in the mid lane. It is Legion Commander versus Void Spirit. We've seen some Legion in this tournament, mostly mid, a lot of it from C-Smile.
Okay, every placement is worth 5k. So 8th is 37.5, and 5th is 52.5.
Okay.
So 5k between each place. So even if you're out of the running for top 4 still, something to play for, of course, but all these teams are obviously aiming for that high placement and to go to those playoffs, which, as it looks right now, very likely will contain BetBoom and PSG LGD, as they are 4-0, and the 3rd place team is currently 2-2. So
wow,
they have created quite the distance between themselves and the rest of the pack, which was pretty unpredictable given how the groups went. There were many teams that went 8-6. 9 Pandas went 10-4. Yeah. And now things have definitely changed. Some teams just with better adaptation to the situation.
Yeah, a couple of them have definitely separated from the pack.
Sumail is losing mid this game.
13-7 to 8-1. That is not close.
I was questioning this Void Spirit pick for this reason. So first of all, the hero has been nerfed, but I also think this hero should have a bad matchup against Legion Commander for, I mean, what do you do, right? Yeah. Legion just trades with you non-stop. She uses overwhelming odds if you go for CS and gets a massive nuke off. And Sumail can only watch as C-Smile just takes every creep that he wants.
Oh my goodness. Even the one that should be insured by the Resonant Pulse. Yep, not off to a good start for Sumail. And I mean, they got off to a pretty good start in the tournament, I would say. Especially at the, if you go back to the Berlin Major, they definitely, that was before he was an official member, I believe.
Impressed.
And I agree with, I think the panel were talking about the honeymoon stage being over. There was definitely a case to be made that that was the case there.
Yeah.
But eventually the language barrier will catch up, but doesn't mean they can't find a way to regroup.
But I do think a part of their identity and a part of the reason that things went well at the Berlin Major and in Group Stage #1 was that they put Sumail up, they set Sumail up for success. I think a lot of their games, he really got to shine as an individual. At the Major, we saw his Wind Ranger in particular win games. We saw his Void Spirit in Stage 1 win games. Yeah, Panda will be punched to death here by
the courier too.
A little extra snack there, very nice.
Tasty delight.
Okay, it sticks. So, this game, they have not set up Sumail for success. And I feel like my biggest criticism of Aster in general in this phase 2 of the tournament is that their games feel pretty slow.
Yes, that's
and while
very
Bet Boom has also done that in some of their games, I feel like they've had a better reason to do it, as an example. Like, Aster, for the most part, have just slowed their game down, but they don't necessarily draft winning matchups for that to make sense. So in this game, for example, they're definitely outdrafted in this mid matchup. And if they end up having to slow play with a mid Void Spirit that lost its lane, you kind of feel like, what's your purpose in the game, right? Like, this hero wants to move, he wants to put pressure around the map, but C-Smile is definitely
what
showing him
difference?
who's boss.
You said that they like to set Sumail up to succeed. What's changed then? I mean, they have Lich and Techies are definitely heroes that can gank at some point. I mean, usually it's the 6-minute power room where we start seeing that action.
I mean, in this game, first of all, just the lane-to-lane matchup, right? A lot of the times as we see Pichu, he killed off by this lane. This is going to be a hard lane for them now. Aside from just the lane itself not being as Sumail favored, I also think Aster in general would often pick Sumail's hero late in the draft. So they would run like a late pick. For example, they would last pick his Wind Ranger at Berlin, right? Until teams started catching on and started banning it. And a lot of the times they would give him like these later priority picks. They ran their strategies with Pugna or Io that were revolving around Sumail Storm Spirit, for example. So some of the things that they just ran with success just got nerfed. And it hasn't really fully felt the same, like, all right, Sumail is going to own, we'll give him a good matchup, we'll let him last pick so he can win his lane. It's one of his biggest strengths as a player. I think Sumail's lane mechanics are still absolute S tier, but there's a limit to what you can do.
Yeah, Matthew trying to dodge some spells, won't really happen. He's getting chased by both Sumail and Simiscat, and that's going to be more than enough. Sumail needs all that he can get to try to bounce back in this game.
I mean, it's definitely not out of reach, for sure. And I do think Void Spirit, aside from the lane, actually has a pretty good game here. Because you need to worry about duel, but that's pretty much it. You're very good at killing Oracle. It's one of Oracle's worst matchups is that Void Spirit, because he just jumps in and assassinates you, or forces you to ult yourself, and then job well done. And you just back out, the fight progresses, and they won't have it to save a core. But yeah, definitely still some ground to cover to get there. And well, would you look at that? Enigma has 26 denies, Sunsven TV.
That's the most I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's a lot of denies, minute 7.
My God. That is absurd.
Anti-Mage has about the same amount of CS as Enigma has denies.
Good. I mean, even the mid lane, you talked about already, but 13 denies for C-Smile as well. And, I mean, the top 3 heroes on that list that you're looking at, all on EG's side.
Sumail, by being dire, will get bounty runes here. Comes with the territory.
That's right.
Monet blinked here.
Yes, he did. Boundless Strike got him pretty low.
Beating.
Jingu stacks are
he cut
about
the
to proc with one more right click, but Sumail has come. 8th Remnant brings back Matthew, and that leads to Sumail's 2nd kill of the game now. And that actually catapults him to top net worth, just barely.
Yep. Some nice help from the Lich on the kill in his lane, and he pays it back by rotating top. So nice moves here. Definitely gonna help him out. Still, C-Smile is, of course, despite not having the exact same net worth, well, now he's closing in. Still a level advantage. And Sumail has to be careful because any rotation from Monkey King to mid could just be a kill with a duel if you're not full HP.
Yeah.
Just to watch out for that. My God, these denies are actually just... This is a bad lane matchup for Anti-Mage. We didn't really talk about that this much, but Anti-Mage without the ability to fully commit in, which he can't because of Monkey King, is just gonna get denied heavily in this matchup. He's still doing pretty okay, all things considered. Sumail will be taking a little bit of a beating here once again.
Not that C-Smile's had issues getting dual victories in the past, but if you look at their lineup, one thing they are lacking is burst damage. I think Boundless Strike is the main thing that comes to mind, so yeah. Blade Mail is going to be pretty damn important. I mean, not that you don't get that anyway, but that is one thing they're lacking. They don't have like that Mystic Flare or whatever the case may be to help finish off these kills, to rack up those dual stacks. Matthew chasing Monet. Not much is going to come from that, but something will come from this, as Pichu will fall.
And
Whisper
obviously,
is owning.
as the panel covered, one thing to keep in mind about the Legion versus Anti-Mage matchup is that it is one of the only spells in the game that you cannot protect yourself against as AM is dual. If you reflect it, guess what? Still dueling. So
Yeah.
if C-Smile has a good game and he starts ramping up and he gets Blade Mail, Dagger, and start finding some kills, this hero can kill Anti-Mage for a quite significant portion of the game. Success will get the first tower, but it will be mirrored almost instantly by EG up top. Still fairly quiet, and I have to say Sumail's game now is looking a lot better than I thought it would. So
Yep, sure is.
good news for Aster. They do need this guy to come up big in this particular game, and he has the potential to deliver.
Matthew showing himself, but not much will come from that as C-Smile is, I believe he was working on the Blade Mail. Something coming on the curry, perhaps, as the Astral Set comes out from Sumail. Still backed up by the Lich at the moment. 10-minute rune is coming up, and it will be bottom. It's a shield rune.
Sumail will get it.
More value for up.
Sumail will not.
He will not.
jump in
Matthew,
time.
that's the second rune he's stolen. First time it cost him his life. Will it be the second time as well? Sticky Bomb is there with Sumail. Here to help out, press the attack. Okay, they do get the false promise off, but I believe he's probably, well, maybe not, actually jumps onto the trees. We'll see if he survives or not. There's the first duel of the game. C-Smile does get the damage, and Matthew heals through it all. Astral Step into the vacuum. C-Smile, they really want to chase him, but the black hole comes out onto 2 from Whisper. Do they have the damage to follow this up with the overwhelming odds? Not quite enough to take out Sumail, as Matthew's Jingu stack's not going to help him survive.
Oh my
Sumail
God,
with the
so low.
Dissimulate onto the low ground, but he's taken out by the Purifying Flames of Panda. Nicely done from EG, getting some value kills. And Whisper kiting everyone. They get another support kill, and XXS should be able to walk away. Quite the fight at 11 minutes.
Picasso was showing up toward the end there, but
He slithered his way over there.
didn't matter. Yeah, nice black hole by Whisper here, finding those two. And yeah, I thought Sumail was going to get that shield rune for sure, but didn't step in time. And that going on the Monkey King definitely slows things down quite a bit on that initial kill that Pichu, sorry, excuse me, not Pichu, that Baboka was coming in for. And it becomes awkward, and C-Smile just tanky enough there. That Occult Bracelet really helping out.
Yep, true. Yep, they do kill Matthew in the end, but the fact that he stayed alive so much longer because of the False Promise Boundless Strike combo with the full Jingo stacks, of course. Pretty powerful stuff, and it's not very often, I mean, it's not often we see Enigma, but not often you see the first black hole this early on 2 heroes.
Yeah, that's true.
And Whisper, it just feels like he is having himself a game. But on the other side here, we haven't really talked about is the Darkseer. And you can see that XXS is doing very well for himself. He is actually by far the top net worth.
Yeah.
Vanguard, Mech, not too far away from Greaves.
It's pretty classic. Darkseer against Oracle. You're going to have an awesome game.
Yeah,
I
the
think-
hard counter.
To be fair, though, this matchup has definitely changed with the universal damage, because Darkseer in the past really relied on Ion Shell to get CS, but he hits really hard. So even if you remove the shell, he still contests Medusa for CS in lane pretty reliably. And once you get that early Vanguard, you can't really pressure him out. So I actually can't say I'm too surprised, but let's go Dire with the bounty advantage.
God, somebody needs to make sense of this. Cinder, that's supposed to be you.
I mean, I gave my theory yesterday. I think the map layout and the way heroes naturally move from lane to lane, the Dire just spends more time walking between the bounties. So it's just a more, how to say, since the bounties aren't necessarily something you directly will go on a mission to grab, but more something that you stumble upon or pass by during the game, whichever team just has
Do you not
that
think
mark.
it's an important enough priority for somebody to take some time to just do it?
Yeah, maybe, but it's always one of those where, like, if you're a 5 and you're running around and every 3 minutes you need to move to get the bounty rune.
Right, well, that's an exaggeration. That's the extreme level, right?
Sure, but who else would do it?
Well, I'm
You're
not
saying you're deliberately
I'm saying
making
every 3 minutes. We had a game yesterday where the team that was Radiant had 2 bounties at 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You're talking about doing every 3 minutes, just occasionally. For God's sake.
Yeah, but if you walk by occasionally as Radiant, they've already been taken by the Dire.
Yeah, but they weren't taken. That's the thing. See, Smile killed off. Chain Frost. Indeed.
This tower's gone. They are really activating Sumail. Nice rotation there. Big success will grab the tower. Keep in mind the wall in this game actually very impactful. The Medusa illusion obviously amazing. EG don't have the best tools for killing it. So
Well, they could always buy a Dagon.
True. You always could, but no one does.
That is one of the sad things about this patch, which we'll have to get to in just a moment, Cinder. Boundless Strike, but you can see XXS helping Siamese Cat out. But the chase continues.
I give up.
Never mind. But yeah, I thought Dagon was actually going to be like a mainstay.
Yeah.
Because I think the issue before, you always felt like, if I get a Dagon, it feels kind of weird not to upgrade, but at the same time, if I do upgrade, I'm expending, like, it's the most expensive item in the game as a Dagon 5. Now it feels like Dagon 1 on certain heroes, like, you're getting a lot of value now, and you don't need to upgrade it for quite a while. And we were seeing it initially.
Yeah, some universal heroes, universal assassin type int mids, or yeah, used to be int mids turned universal, started buying it, but I don't know. I actually kind of agree, and I think the players might be undervaluing the item a little bit, but I mean, items like that are always just very much down to, okay, are you getting enough bang for your buck because the item is extremely one-dimensional. You're holding it up against, let's say on some universal heroes, you've seen them go for these more utility-based builds. We get like Gleipnir, you get Manta, where that is also damage. It's not burst, but it has multiple purpose. The Manta feels so nice because it can save your life. The Dagon is not going to do that. And in every offensive move where you use the Manta, if the fight is long enough, it might deal more damage than the Dagon. So it's like very hero-specific. But yeah, I was happy to see the item get buffed. I've kind of missed it, but it was short-lived once again. Maybe the teams will identify a way of building it, or will realize they've forgotten about it, or whatever.
Just like the bounties, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it just gets buffed again.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's one of those items where if you buff it just a little bit too much, then
you'll have couriers using it at some point.
People already complain enough about Tinker, Shannon.
That is true. I mean, you could always just delete Tinker.
Yeah.
And then buff Dagon, then nobody's
Sure,
gonna.
a lot of people would love that.
Yeah, I think so too. Another hero that we haven't seen much of is Arc Warden, which I was excited about, because you have the 2 different versions or whatever when you switch right into Dire.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a temporary thing, right?
So they said.
Yeah.
I think it was just hey, if people like it, we'll keep it. If not, we'll get rid of it. And I think it was very apathetic in general, so I'm not sure what that will lead to.
An ambitious way of thinking that people would like anything that had to do with Arc Warden.
Yeah, that's true.
Except the Arc Warden players, of course.
Battle Fury is there at 17 minutes for Monet. So that's Vanguard, Battle Fury, Treads. And now his farm will start to catapult.
Awkward predicament here for Panda.
Yep.
Let's
have Fate's Edict. We'll block some damage here. Just trying to delay as long as possible because there certainly is no way that he's getting out of this.
Space.
Yep, there he's still alive. Panda, very tanky boy. Will eventually, that did not feel like you were fighting an Oracle, Cinderance.
No. To be fair,
it's another hero that...
Fate's Edict is really good in that situation, so...
True. It's another hero that we haven't seen as much as I thought we would. We initially saw it when the patch came out.
Yeah.
Just feel like it just got better overall. Oh, nice dodge.
Did you know that bananas cannot take damage from grenades?
That makes sense. It's a gadget.
Yeah. Might be usable in Modern Warfare. Put some, glue some bananas to the bottom of your tanks.
That's good advice. Whisper has Blink Dagger now. He went for Midas, by the way, after, I think it was after the mech, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but
yeah, he did.
He's farming like a madman.
This Enigma is going to be huge, and I think something that EG might have identified to pick Enigma in this game and just in this patch in general is that they've noticed a trend. Teams are playing slower. So why don't we just pick the ultra late game offlaner?
Yeah.
I actually really like this mindset of putting this to the test here because especially against Aster, as we've established, they are one of the slowest teams here. So even more against this team, I just think that's good prep. The panel was also talking about EG's bans, and you know, they have a pretty good idea.
I mean, EG has had a good amount of late game scenarios in this patch as well, so they have some experience. And they have Medusa, which is one of the best late game heroes in the game. I mean, AM, not too shabby himself, but like that hero, at least historically, I don't know about this patch, but has fallen off at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to get to your 6-slot item faster than anybody else, but once you're there, it's not that long of a period before you're a true force.
And you're always going to be susceptible to Enigma in this game. That's the thing. Like, even if Anti-Mage gets huge, if he doesn't see Whisper, he can get black holed and dueled and die.
Yeah.
And I don't really think there's anything you can do about it itemization-wise. If he's not rich enough, it doesn't matter what items he buys for that. That will always be a threat. The protection that his team offers is not going to cut it. You can get frost shielded.
Oh, we have the duel coming up with a quick frost shield into the vac wall, but the false promise is going to be there to save C-Smile's life as well. Wukong's command with the boundless strike, but Boca's going to be the first to fall. Aegis obviously still online because they just got it and they took basically no damage. So in the end, it's a support for support, but Aegis goes the way of EG.
Sumail on the hunt.
It's not over yet. Yeah, Sumail wants more. And C-Smile is going to get some love from Panda.
He's going to start
taking
flowers.
a Lotus. Well, I'd feel pretty confident too when there's a Snake Lady right next to me. Monet, he's going to kill off Panda in the meanwhile. Enigma's getting kited. There's the Stone Gate from Pakaz. And the Black Hole from Whisper onto the AM. Is it enough damage?
Nice
Monet able to blink out. And XXS saves the day, at least for now. Now, C-Smile actually came back in just because Astral step into Oblivion. And Sumail with the Dissimilate onto the other side, but Malefice is online. Do they have the chase to continue here? Frost Shield still applied. Siamese Cat's able to get out. Will Sumail have the same fate?
Oh my God.
Dissimilate again. No Astral Step for another 4 seconds, so he will drop. So EG's able to maintain the Aegis.
When all's said and done, somebody won there. I mean, yeah, they keep the Aegis, I suppose, like you said, but they didn't find the Anti-Mage kill. That would have been the big one. Monet got bailed out by the vacuum. He got the hell out of there and immediately started farming bot. EG gonna barrel down top though with this Pakaz Aegis, knowing that AM TP'd away. They feel pretty safe to do this with a dead Void Spirit. I like this play call a lot. This is pretty safe, I would say. But maybe Aster want to try
on the trees, but the tower sees him. They're going to try to drop him down, but he goes down of his own accord first. Midnight Pulse onto 2. Fortune Zen basically rooting both in place, but Boca, he's just ticking away. Easy kill for Pakaz, and the tier 2 tower looks to be next. C-Smile also looking for an opening, but we can see on the minimap, Aster has retreated fully.
Tower for Pakaz extends his lead to 2,500 against that of the Anti-Mage. And this matchup, so historically speaking, it's had its waves. There was a time when Anti-Mage was just a hard counter, and then Medusa started itemizing like this with the fast butterfly, and they could outpace the AM. And then at some point when AM gets 3 or 4 items, he beats Medusa for a while again. And then ultra late game, I want to say it's almost a 50-50. Kind of comes down to
so annoying.
what the teammates are more than anything.
Frost Shield into Fortification into Frost Shield. The tower only at half HP. That was quite the long siege as well.
XXS was looking for a vacuum wall there, but couldn't really find the range.
And while this was happening, Sumail continuing to push.
He'll complete his Lincolns off this. Feels good item against Legion Commander, of course. Wonder if AM is going to buy one as well. But I think what you do as Monet in this game is you probably...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? Go for the Abyssal right away. I like it. Take the aggressive approach.
Oh, Sumail, Lincoln's procs.
Lincoln
Duel
reveal.
Not successful. Matthew just making his presence known, but Pakaz is coming from the other side as well. The Aether Remnant will connect. And Sumail with the Frost Shield. It's going to get dispelled here.
Nope.
No, it won't. He has Lincolns, as we talked about. And Lich, he's going to get gone on. So they do find a kill, but it's only the support Siamese Cat
That was a great Linken's reveal. It was very high value. They baited out the duel.
Radiant's
And in the meantime, Monet is pushing bot and getting that tier 2. So
Yep.
a nice outcome for Aster in this engagement.
But the question is, what will they do when the BKB is online for Whisper?
under attack.
Abyssal Blade is the only thing that stops it, but that's completely positional based. And even then, you can always opt to go for Linken's if that's really a concern for Whisper.
And you're still, if you want to stop Black Hole, you're exposing yourself to duel. So
Yep, true.
it very much depends on the order in which spells are cast, and also, obviously, whenever Anti-Mage, the Monkey King matchup is actually very interesting because it's a stun that AM can't really protect himself against. It's not single target, and it comes from out of vision. A lot of the time, you'll just be stunned from a tree, and the enemy team can pile on you. So I'd say that's might actually be one of Monet's biggest problems in this game, is keeping track of where the Monkey King is. Because any stun setup will allow them to connect the duel, it'll allow them to connect the Black Hole.
Hoping for the Oracle Shard, and they'll get it.
It's a wonderful...
Reign of Destiny online.
A Reign of Destiny.
I mean, it's kind of crazy how big of an impact the support getting a shard can have. If this went to Monkey King, we've talked about it again, it's more useful on a core.
The Enigma ones, or the Oracle one, I think is really good.
What is Enigmas, actually?
It's the Malefice spawns Eidolons, right? And more stun.
Yep, that is correct. Okay.
There is a build, when Enigma was more popular somewhat recently, there was a build where you would go Vessel and Shard. You'd just buy the Shard before Tormentors were a thing. And Enigma would just run down heroes by putting stun on them and then Vesseling them. And they took so much damage because the Vessel would tick, every Malefice stun was longer, you kept spawning Eidolons.
Yeah.
Enigma could solo cores minute like 20 with these two items, but things have changed. See a fast basher here from Monet. Large part of it is because people don't necessarily opt for this order,
Radiant are
so we'll be faster than average. And on top
Nullify.
of that, he's not having a bad game, so...
Nullifier on Pakaz. Not the most usual Medusa item. But nobody else would really want to buy it as C-Smile getting initiated on. He wanted the opening, but Blastoff comes in. Will hit. Chain Frost not going to chain, so as Cinderin say, just a blast. Okay, or just a Frost. Big vac wall onto 3. Wukong's commando helps space this out for EG. So a trading of ultimates along with that Stone Gaze. And now EG look to be either resetting or backing up temporarily. There is the Nullifier into XXS into the duel. That will be a victory for C-Smile.
That's a big kill. Medusa is free now.
Oh, he gets up a nice disarm at the multiple heroes. But no, the big Mana Void comes in. So much damage. Goodness gracious. 3 dead for EG in the blink of an eye. And now the bash onto Whisper. He gets False Promise finally. But he is the lone remaining member of EG and not for long. Aster win this fight handily off of Monet's Mana Void.
I can't believe it. This is so random. Did you see what Monkey King just bought?
Monkey King?
We just talked about it. Nobody buys this item.
Hell yeah!
This is the first game, for context, if you haven't watched all the games we've cast, this is the first game we've even mentioned this item all tournament. And we're like, nobody buys it. And then they buy it. Oh, that's hilarious.
Matthew's my boy.
Yep. Gets that dag and wants to kill that illusion.
But look at this Mana Void. It doesn't cleanly get a triple kill, but you can just see the damage.
Yeah.
Even with that butterfly. And
and it's so close on the Black Hole as well. We're talking half a second there. The Black Hole comes off first, and then this is a totally different story. But Monet with the good snipe. Taking care of business.
beautifully done from Aster, and this gives them a little bit of breathing room, up 5K. Roche is up. Might have to go through another team fight. Although they are in the area is Aster, but we can see on the minimap at least that EG are positioning themselves to potentially contest. 4 more runes taken, but it's 1,300 gold.
I love that we get an update about this.
Yeah, every 5 minutes, let's get an update.
It's always the same.
I wonder, do they do that for any other cast?
Yeah, good question.
We have a smoke now from Aster as Monet is trying to solo it. That'll take a while, but finally the rest of his team catches up. Do they have enough time to take this? Now a smoke from EG.
Oh, this could be a big moment. No black hole, though. It's very important for this moment.
Yeah, 50 seconds still to wait for that. It looks like this will go the way of Aster.
They got it.
So Aegis and Cheese. And with that, EG retreats. All right, Aster certainly have some breathing room now as the butterfly getting pretty close for Monet.
Huge. He's about to overtake Medusa for the first time in the game. Pakaz now with the Daedalus. He has plenty of damage, but the question is if he gets to hit very long. They're very much on top of him immediately with the anti-mage, with the vac wall. Of course, this Dagon from Matthew will try to protect him, but it's going to be a tough ask. This can happen very quickly. I will say the player that has seemed the most quiet this game out of everyone is C-Smile on the Legion. He's had some really good Legion performances in this tournament so far. This one just hasn't really hit the mark. Like they haven't been able to find many impactful duels, or I mean duels in general, right? But I guess that's also kind of a symptom of, or rather a consequence of how the game is getting played by most teams right now. If it's a very slow game where people aren't fighting very much, are you really getting much value out of this hero in general?
Well, you said that yesterday, and it was value.
Hero. Yeah, they played as an offlaner, though. I think there's a bit of a difference. When you put it mid, you better ramp up, right?
Yeah.
You're comparing this to a Void Spirit that has been running the show to a large extent. I feel like Legion Commander hasn't exactly given much return on investment, considering they got a good lane matchup for it, even.
Yep, that's true.
C-Smile's been tanking a good amount of damage, but he's not converting it into a teamfight victory. Whereas all the damage Sumail takes, he dishes out equal amounts. And now this butterfly completed for Monet. He is very, very strong. With Legion having limited items, he might not even win the duel anymore. C-Smile at half of Anti-Mage's net worth. 30 minutes in.
Yep.
He is very far down the ladder.
They do have Enigma.
They do. And I think if EG want to win this game at this point, Whisper needs to come up big. They have to set him up. He has the conditions for it.
Yeah, he's got the Philosopher's Stone. Couldn't think of the name.
Yeah. And he's going for Refresher, it looks like. I thought it was maybe going to be the Lincolns like you talked about against the Abyssal, but
I think a Refresher is definitely the right play.
Then he has to wait for AM. He's not allowed to black hole anything else, right? I mean, that's probably also good enough as long as he gets him at the right time. But the way Aster have approached fights, they've been able to burn a quite significant amount of Medusa's mana without AM. And I think it would be a really cool purchase from Monet now to buy Ags. I would really like to see that. I think you just throw in some blink fragments on the Medusa, you poke her, poke and prod, and then ultimately she's going to be so low on mana that you can go for the kill. Monet finds C-Smile here.
He
might
sure
want to abyssal him and start going to work.
I think he's trying to. There it is. Has to blink, little baby blink. False promise there onto C-Smile. As Panda, he's going to get bashed. There's the press the attack. Lots of dispels for this EG squad, but Panda with the nullifier now is going to get disintegrated.
Yeah.
And Aster in very good position. Of course, the Medusa still a huge concern, but if they can somehow get another mana void like that, that could potentially just end the game, honestly.
It's big that there's no Oracle as well. This offers a lot of protection for C-Smile. So,
there is a BKB now, though, on Pakaz, so the mana voids are going to be a lot more difficult to come by. But Monet jumps on in. Pakaz, a lot of mana drain. There is the black hole from Whisper. Wukong's command into the duel. That is going to be the death of the Aegis. And obviously C-Smile will get some nice damages. Sumail going really deep. Astral Step taking out Whisper. Oh, he gets the cheese up and a big back wall into the blast off. Holy moly, EG.
See you next game.
Get destroyed. Wombo combo special from Aster. And I don't think that Monkey King buyback is going to make much difference, as this is going to be 2 sets. Well, they got to get the tier 2s mid and top. So maybe this will be delayed a bit. I think since the wave is relatively close, this should be a safe second set of racks.
Oh, that's just so nutty. The vacuum into blast off combo there. And I get it, right, EG? You can't just let AM do whatever he wants, but look at how much they have to commit. They have to use everything for the Aegis. And I love this play from Sumail. This is all him. He's diving. He's using the last second cheese, and Pakaz is already out of mana. So
Oh, yeah. That's the stuff right there.
nothing they can do at that point.
Really good team fight from Aster. They get 2 sets of racks, and they're going to poke on the tier 4 towers.
No black hole. The duo has to come up big here.
Medusa up in 12 seconds.
I'll just back off.
Obviously, both Aegis and Cheese consumed now for Aster. And Sumail really wanting to finish off this tier 4. And we haven't, I mean, Dagon's not working out.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really been, I mean, the team fights are pretty hectic, but
I have to say Monkey King could have bought any item and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, no,
that has not been the problem.
I mean, that I assume he, like we talked about, is to be used on the illusion that is created of Medusa.
Yeah, that's the plan, I would imagine.
But is that even enough damage?
Doesn't it one-shot it?
Does it? Didn't they change that or no?
It's so hard to keep track of what are strong illusions and what aren't nowadays, but I think it does one-shot it.
Okay.
Maybe not. If it doesn't, then I think that Dagon just doesn't make sense at all. So I hope it works. Otherwise, I just disagree with the item. There's like no other reason to buy it for Monkey King, right? If you want to break Lincolns, there's better choices. So it has to be for the illusion. Well, they have the refresher now. So in that last fight, if Whisper had 2 black holes, maybe it could have worked. They could have maybe killed him twice on the anti-mage. So with Aster with a 2 barracks lead, this game is not quite over yet because they still need to deal the killing blow. They will want the Roche for that, so they can have those 2 lives in AM again. It's very important. It's honestly... There was a time in Dota where that was like the only thing balancing Enigma was Aegis. Because otherwise you had no chance against this hero late game in a lot of
remember
games.
the days when you could infinitely buy back?
Yeah.
As long as you just had enough money?
Oh yeah.
And it was cheaper back then too?
Oh yeah.
Thank you for the update, production.
Some of those Chinese 90-minute games with Storm with 4 lives in his own base.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah,
Thank you, production.
That was great. Okay,
Appreciate
Dire
that.
has more bounty runes. That's really weird because they're winning.
Yeah, that's good.
A bauble from the void.
Keep us updated.
Yeah.
Smoke from EG.
Grenades also do not damage trees, as it would turn out. Not only bananas are immune.
Techie's mines will be tanked by Panda. I don't know if that was his intent, but you see EG. I don't know if they've timed this thoroughly, but we can see that Roche cannot spawn
that
for 20 seconds.
Saw the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, these Techie's
Okay,
mines
that
are
mine saw the
illustrating
smoke. That
everything.
mine saw it too. And this mine.
Yeah. Oh,
You got
Kaz is
any
a
more
pretty good
mines,
hero.
guys? You're running out?
They know that
No?
they're probably on the high ground, but Boca throws out a random sticky bomb.
Oh, they need
Not
to
gonna
deward this
sticky.
ops. Okay.
Oh, we have the BKB from C-Smile. He
Oh, he
wants to get
can't
the
duel.
duel, but they're going to lose their Enigma right away, and that is their entire team fight, and they just call it GG.
Yeah, it's over.
Can't blame them. Aster with really great play